Hello YouTube, this is Carrie, and tonight what I want to talk about is something that is becoming a bigger and bigger issue as I am now full-time and into just the depth of full-time where I'm just living my life and not really thinking about being trans anymore. And one of the things that happens when you do go full-time is that you stop thinking about being trans and you start focusing once again on what you need to do to fill your life with purpose, what you're going to need to be happy for the rest of your life. And one of the things that has always been at the forefront of my mind is I believe I'm going to need a family in order to be truly happy and to be in a relationship and, to have someone who loves me, and that is going to be a significant player in my eventual happiness and satisfaction with life. But right now I am having a bit of a problem. I can't even figure out what my own sexual orientation is. And I imagine that this is not a problem that a lot of people go through. Like, even most of my trans friends, they know exactly what their sexual orientation is, Generally, if they were into guys pre-transition, they are now still into guys post-transition. And a lot of them that were into girls pre-transition are still into girls. I have trans friends who are both straight trans friends and lesbian trans friends. In regards to me, I have no freaking clue. And honestly, in my case, being transsexual is making it really hard to figure out. So that's what I want to talk about tonight, is just, kind of going through the history of how I've seen my own sexual orientation over the years and what exactly is making me so confused about it. And again, this is a bit of an issue because I'm at the point where I want to start dating, but I don't even know who I'm supposed to be looking for. So basically, from the very beginning of transition, gender dysphoria has very much mixed in with my perception of who I would want to date, and it's made it confusing. For example, while I was in Florida visiting my mom, I picked something special up, my old high school journal. And so today I want to start this off by reading you the very first time that I experienced love on February 14th of 2002, when I was 16 years old. This is what I wrote, and this should illustrate why it was so confusing for me even from the beginning. Here's what I wrote. I feel like my whole life has suddenly changed. I have felt love's wonder for the first time in my life. And the strangest thing is that it was to no one. I still don't have a girlfriend. And, okay, here's where I wrote about who I was picturing this person as. Who is this person? I picture her as a sensible person that is smart, pretty, and loves being loved. Someone that doesn't smoke or do drugs and just wants someone to love her. And here's the interesting part. Basically, a female version of me. The person I wish I was born as, if only. So as you can see, since the very beginning, my gender dysphoria has kind of been intertwined with what I believed was my romantic interests. So in a way, it's like I wasn't actually looking for a girlfriend in the traditional sense that someone who is presenting as male looks for a girlfriend. Where, they look at them and they find them attractive and, they want to be in a relationship with them. I was actually basically looking for just a female version of me that I could live vicariously through. All right? And the day after that entry, I did actually meet somebody after school. And, so again, let's talk about this. Here's another confusing thing. Nobody is ever the perfect match, but she comes very close. For now, she is just a friend, and that's all I need her to be right now. For as much as I want a girlfriend, I want a true friend even more. I just can't tell my real thoughts or emotions to other boys. Girls are much more understanding of troubles and feelings. Kyle is a good friend. He was one of my best guy friends in high school. But I need a female best friend, like Jennifer was. She was my best friend when I was a kid. I never realized until yesterday that my heart felt like it was empty. So yeah, that is one of the other things that adds to this confusion is, was I really looking for a girlfriend in the traditional sense, or was I looking for a female best friend to fill this void that I had? Because, all through my childhood, I had female best friends. You know, it was in kindergarten, and it was Katie, then I had Caitlin, Bethany, Jennifer. Those were my best friends all the way through elementary school, all the way up until 7th grade. And then, you know, the magical gender divide of puberty happened, and therefore the girls didn't let me be friends with them anymore. So it kind of, you know, I was kind of left with nobody that I could really talk to. You know, I had guy friends, but, you know, male friends, they like doing stuff. So, you know, they fulfilled my quota of wanting to play video games, wanting to play Magic the Gathering, but they didn't really talk about stuff. And, you know, with my female best friends as a kid, I could talk to them about anything. You know, they were the type of friends that I just would talk to for hours and hours and hours about anything. And I just lacked that. So, you know, that's a question, was, you know, was I ever really attracted to girls in the first place, or was I just confusing it with wanting a really close best female friend? You know, even ever since I started writing about it, there was that confusion. And here's a funny story. When I first started going through puberty and realized that I was feeling romantic desire, I thought that I was just a normal straight guy. I thought that, you know, the sexual interest that I was feeling was the same thing that every guy was feeling. So I actually thought that every single guy looked at girls because they were jealous of them and they were imagining themselves with her body. And so it wasn't until like 10th or 11th grade that I realized that this isn't the case, that, you know, other guys are actually looking at girls and thinking, oh my God, I want to bone her. And, you know, so since the beginning, my romantic interests have been so intertwined with my gender dysphoria that it's made it really difficult to figure out, you know, was I ever attracted to women in the first place? And this is kind of following me post-transition now, because, you know, it became such a habit for me to study girls because I was comparing myself to them, you know, because it was like, oh, I wish I had a body like that. And, you know, it was almost like I was living vicariously through them. You know, when I did have a girlfriend for like 5 or 6 years and we got romantically intimate, you know, again, it wasn't me just enjoying the experience as a heterosexual relationship. I was basically, the whole time we were being intimate, imagining what she was feeling. And that is what, you know, gave me satisfaction, was imagining what she was feeling, not feeling excitement myself. You know, I mentioned this in my last video. Whenever the attention turned to me and my anatomy and my male body at the time, I was grossed out. It didn't do anything for me. So, you know, this is one of the confusing things, is that, you know, pre-transition, I thought I was heterosexual, but now I'm doubting it because, you know, even since the very beginning, you know, it's been intertwined with my desire for a friend and with my jealousy of the entire female sex. And so post-transition, it's getting even more confusing because now I'm having dreams where I'm both genders. So, you know, I have had dreams where I still have a male body and I'm with a girl and I'm able to enjoy it in the dream, even though it makes me feel dysphoric once I wake up, because it's like, oh God, ugh. And likewise, I have had dreams where I am a girl with a guy. And in every single case, I'm able to enjoy them almost equally. So it's just a big mess of confusion, you know? It's like, what do I want, you know? It's like, okay, well, I'm able to enjoy this in a dream, but would I enjoy it in real life? You know, the question, as I go about my day, estrogen made me able to, and transitioning, now that I have a female body, male bodies are becoming more attractive. Pre-transition, one of the reasons why I could not be attracted to guys was because I was a guy myself, and therefore things like body hair and big muscles and deep voices and all the things that girls are usually attracted to, I could not be attracted to because they made me feel dysphoria. They reminded me of all the parts of myself that I hated. Where now that that stigma is gone, I am able to find guys attractive. But at the same time, I still catch myself not really looking at guys that much. I'm still looking at women more. But again, the question is, am I looking at them because I'm actually attracted to them? Or, am I just still studying them because I'm jealous? And, it is just one giant mess of brain fuck. Ugh. So, I mean, I don't know if anyone else is going through an issue like this, but I just cannot figure out which sex I am attracted to and which sex I can see myself being in a relationship with. So, and another confusing thing is that every time that I have, an intimate dream involving a girl, what I'm imagining is, romantic things, snuggling, just watching movies, just being close, just, like feeling one soft body next to another. That's what still makes me interested in girls. And then if the sexual part of it, it's always doesn't feel right. So, again, where do you draw the line between looking for a friendship and just looking for someone to feel close to and actual romance? Where with guys, I can absolutely, definitely imagine the sexual part, but I don't know if I can handle guys machismo, and I don't know if I'd really want to be around them all the time. And, I've always had trouble feeling close to guys, so this is just one giant mess. And this is one of the rare occasions where I'm not talking about something to educate people. I'm asking for help, How can I figure this out? It's just so complicated when, I've been in a relationship with someone as a guy with a girl and it didn't quite work out. And I've had dreams of me being a trans woman with another trans woman, me being a girl with a guy, me being a guy with a guy. I have had dreams with like every possible combination. And like every single one of them, when I'm able to get into the moment and really just let go, I'm able to enjoy them. So I do wonder if I even have traditional sexual attraction like other people feel in the first place. Like, even other girls, when they're attracted to guys, the feeling that they get is, the same kind of thing, where all of a sudden there will be this spark where they recognize this guy as being attractive and it's like, oh my God. And, I don't ever really feel that, I just get more emotionally attached to people, and usually it's only after a while. There's very, very few times that I ever feel like this deep emotional connection where it's like, oh gosh, I would love to be in a relationship with this person, where I actually like get a crush on someone. And, a lot of the times those people are more feminine guys with longer hair, guys with softer mannerisms. So have I mentioned that this is confusing? So I could use some advice on how to figure this out. And again, the being pre-op complicates this because I don't know how much of my non-desire to be with someone has to do with, me having mental blocks due to hating my own anatomy and, not being able to derive much enjoyment for me imagining myself using that for sex, which just grosses me out, versus, how much of it is actually genuinely me not being attracted. And another question is, I was a Christian education major, so, I was like a really serious Christian for all these years. So how much of this is repression based on religion? How much is this not allowing me to feel sexual attraction because I've just grown up to view it as inherently sinful? And so, I block it out from my mind whenever it comes up. So yeah, this was just kind of a long vent. I could use advice. How the hell can I figure this out? How the hell can I untangle this mess? I could use some thought experiments, maybe from other people who had a bit of a difficult time with this and, who had issues with transition getting involved and who had issues with religion getting involved, It's like, again, I am always imagining myself being close to someone and having a family and romance, but I can't even picture which gender it is. So, it's like I'm just having all these empty feelings where I want to be in love with someone and I don't even know who I'm looking for. So any advice would be welcome, and as always with my vlogs, I am only doing this to share the genuine thoughts that are going through my head, and this has kind of been a frustration recently because I want to be in a relationship, but I don't know what I'm looking for. So yeah, this has been my honest truth of the week, and you know, it's just one of the things that I'm still trying to figure out. Again, being trans makes a lot of things confusing, especially since I'm not sure who would accept me, yada, yada, yada. I'm rambling at this point. So yeah, if you have any advice, please, I would love it. And, you know, or some thought experiments, whatever. Or maybe if you yourself had problems and then later came to figure it out, or, you know, just let me know. I could use advice, and, you know, also advice for dating when I am still in a state where I don't really like my anatomy and I'm afraid nobody would accept me for that in the first place. You know, that just, it's so complicated. Nobody ever said being transgender was easy. You know, it makes everything very confusing at times. So yeah, that is my long, long discussion about love and how I don't understand what I want. Thanks for listening if you're still watching by this point. Bye. See you next time.